Oh, hey. I'm just playing some games. Yeah. Well, on the Switch Lite. Yeah. Yeah, I still play it. Well, admittedly, I don't play my Nintendo Switch as much these days. But I don't know. There's 10 games that are keeping my Nintendo Switch Lite alive. You want to hear 'em? Sure. I could talk to him about it. All right, well, let's get the big one right out the way. It would be Star Wars Battlefield, the Classic Collection. For me, being a millennial Star Wars fan, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2005 edition, is, to me, the Star Wars game of all Star Wars games. And it's truest to the title Star Wars. You're actually in combat. Battlefront, you are there. In battle, it's Star Wars. It's the perfect game. So, yeah, being able to play it anytime I want on the Switch, it's a no brainer. I know that there's some nostalgia that's definitely held a place in my heart for it, but also I think it holds up extremely well. The ground combat is still fun, the space battles are fun, the heroes versus villains mode. Obviously, all the Star Wars sounds, the laser, the blasters, the lightsabers, the music. It is just such a comfort gaming session. So, and I'll be honest with you, if something was acting up with my Switch and it's like, oh, the next game you launch is the only game you're ever going to be able to play on this Switch again, it would be no hesitation Star Wars Battlefront. Technically, the classic collection for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Hands down. Yeah. The next game is actually helped by the fact that I was a Star Wars fan, and I'll explain why. It's Slay the Spire, which is a card deck building game. Now, I never played a deck builder game until Star Wars Unlimited, fell in love with it, started to appreciate and understand deck building more. Now, I looked at Magic, that still looks like algebra to me, but Slay the Spire, and I remember this game popped up on my radar, and I just completely ignored it because, again, it was a card game, and before Star Wars Unlimited, I wasn't into card games at all. But then it popped back into my radar and decided to give it a shot, and very glad I did. One thing I like about it is the combat is pretty straightforward. There's no timer. You can do it at your own pace, which is what I love about my Switch. I can pick it up and play for a 5 minute session, half an hour, or a 24-hour. No, I don't do that. I can come back to it days later as long as the battery holds up, and it still holds up pretty well. Jump right back into what I was doing. Unbelievable. So, Slay the Spire, what I like about it, uh, let's say your enemy is attacking. It tells you what your enemy is going to do. So you can see that they're going to attack you for 15. Sure, you have a card that you can get, 15 good hits on them, some damage, but they're going to hit you as well. Well, you have your defense cards, which 5 shield each. You play all 3 of them, all the cards you can play, but that way you take 0 hits to your health, which obviously you want to keep good health, just like in real life. You want to maintain your health. And like I said, the combat's kind of straightforward, easy to get into. Each battle takes just a couple minutes. Again, there's no timer, but I have found that it goes pretty quickly. It escalates for sure. I'm not very good at it. I think I've maybe gotten to the 4th boss, or maybe just the 3rd even. After a while, it becomes a little too difficult for me. I'm not very the ins and outs of, oh, I should have played that card, should have held off on playing this card. I definitely have gotten better, but still not great at it. But yeah, this is a fun game to just kind of throw in for a quick session, like I said. Maybe a battle or two, and then put it down and come back later that day or finish an entire run in a night. It's whatever feels good to you. Okay, so the next game, okay. I found this game on accident, complete accident. When I was looking for Tony Hawk Pro Skater in the eShop, long before Tony Hawk actually came to the Switch. And so there wasn't a lot that popped up. But this game, Olli Olli, popped up on the eShop. And it happened to be on sale for $2. And it was kind of a retro looking side scroller. And I thought, okay, $2, I'll give it a shot. So glad I did. So addicting. And so easy to pick up. Even though actually the tutorial, I was not doing well because I could not figure out how to properly land the trick. But once you do, then you're off. And, I think certainly Tony Hawk, I played that on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. That nostalgia definitely brought me in to that world. I don't skateboard, but what I know about skateboarding is that skateboarders will attempt a trick 99 times, fail 99 times, so that on the 100th time they try it, they land it. And when you do, that sense of satisfaction of landing that trick, is so rewarding. And Olli Olli, I think, offers that. You have to make it through the stage without falling off your board. And so it's again one of those where first couple rounds pretty easy, but then it gets much more challenging. In fact, I've gotten to the last board, world, whatever you want to call it, city. And it's a shame because it's a cyberpunk neon city, which is my aesthetic. I love that world. But I can't even do the first level of that world. Nevertheless, I still jump back in because it's, again, just easy to kind of pick up, do a run or two here. And maybe you've heard of Olli Olli 3, Olli Olli World, a much more like vibrant color story game. And while I certainly enjoyed that game, Olli Olli 1 is just perfection. Also, it's just straight to the point. You don't have to wait for the dialogue. That is what killed my experience for Olli Olli World, is having to sit through all that dialogue when I want to just go back and do another run on a map that I've done multiple times. It's none of that in Olli Olli. And I think this is a big part of it. Back to my point of skateboarders falling down and getting back up. The ragdoll effects when you don't make your landing is hilarious. Hilarious. So I never feel bad about not making a run because of that mechanic. It's so fun to watch them fall. And you just get right back up, retry it. Yeah, it's, again, good for like quick sessions. But I think, if you get your teeth synced into it, you kind of want to go, oh, okay, next level, and then once you kind of get better at it, go back to those levels, try to get a higher score, and yeah, it's just a lot of replayability. So, Olli Olli World. Okay, the next game is one where I don't want to think too much. I just want to sort of shut off my brain and beat up some bad dudes. and that is Paint the Town Red. Yeah, it's in a voxel type of graphic, which is probably good because if it were Mortal Kombat type of graphics, even for Mortal Kombat, it would be pretty brutal. I mean, you are beating people to the bone. Lots of blood, carnage everywhere. But in the voxel style, it's a lot more digestible. There's only 5 maps, but that doesn't matter because you just want to go in and clear out the room. That's all it is. Either through fighting or, throwing fists, kicking. You get a little bit of superpowers that charge up over time, or pick up any object in the room, use anything at your disposal to take down a lot of bad guys. So that could be a beer bottle, a pool cue. If you know the spots, find the knife. It's just a lot of fun beating up people. It sounds bad. It's a lot of fun going around killing everyone in an entire room and then leaving. But that's what we do in video games. So yeah, Paint the Town Red. It also does have an arena mode, which is kind of fun actually. And it also has a underworld roguelike gameplay. And there are people out there that do not like roguelikes at all. It's okay. I do like them, but even still, that doesn't draw me back in. I tried it here or there. Not enough there to draw me in for it. But the base game itself is just bloody fun. You should check it out. I would say the next game up, it's kind of a hidden gem. And I know hidden gem gets thrown around a lot, but I do think it is a hidden gem. I have not seen a lot of people talk about this game. And yeah, it just kind of got buried because I think it released so early on in the Switch's life. And I don't know how it did on Steam or anything, but it's Synthetik Ultimate. And it's a top-down roguelike shooter. But it is difficult. It is brutal. I'm not very good at it. And I like these kind of games, and I do pretty well at them, I would think. And I think I've maybe made it to the second boss. Maybe I've beaten him. But I don't expect to do well when I play it. However, I still think it is super fun. Because there's 2 mechanics that I think help set this game apart. And it's definitely something I wouldn't want in most of my shooters. But when it works, it works. The first one is that your gun can jam. And again, that I wouldn't want that in, like, say, Arc Raiders. But in Synthetik, it adds that tension. You turn that corner, you have the drop on them, you try to shoot, oops, gun jam. Now they spotted you and you're trying to unjam your gun and you're going back into cover, and now you got to find your way out of that chaos. The other part is manually reloading. And there's definitely been games that do that. But when you reload, if you reload half a magazine, you're going to lose those bullets from that magazine. And ammunition is not readily available. So you really have to be mindful of reloading. And I know that in a lot of games, you take someone out, you do the clip, you reload before you move into the next spot. Well, in Synthetik, they're going to be coming after you, so you're not going to have a lot of time to stand still and reload. So when you do get those moments, like let's say there's 3 enemies around the corner, do you decide to try to turn that corner and take one out with the half magazine you have left? Or is it more beneficial to reload, make sure you have a full clip, try to turn the corner so you can take down all of them? And that's where that tacticalness actually comes into play. Like you're still doing it on the fly, but you do have to be a little more mindful of the way you maneuver through the map. And it's just super fun to go back to, even though I always get my ass kicked in this game. But that's probably a sign that it's a good game, that I don't do too well to it and I still enjoy it. Now, the next game surprised me how much I liked it, because in real life, it's one of my least favorite activities to partake in, and it is dealing with traffic. Kind of gives me anxiety. Put it in a video game form where I have a little control over it, and I'm hooked. Mini Motorways, it's more of a puzzler, kind of city builder game, but it's very slow moving in a good way. I mean, especially on the early stages, it's, you get a house and you get the road, try to make the building and just connect them so that traffic is moving as efficiently as possible. And you're not doing a whole lot on the early part of the game. And again, that's why I like the Switch and games like these, either after a long day or playing games like Arc Raiders or Helldivers with my friends. It's kind of fun to just take a slower pace game, play it at your own pace. Now, it definitely ramps up and it gets crazy, and suddenly you are all over the map trying to get this traffic to run smoothly. But I never feel frustrated or angry with it. When the time comes that it's over, it's over. And it was fun. And I think the minimalism of it really adds to, your imagination of the city building. It tells a story. Now, if you want to say like it's just a small town and these new buildings pop up, or the early stages of Los Angeles, or whatever your imagination takes you, you can kind of fill in those gaps. But yeah, it's surprisingly relaxing and enjoyable, and especially on the Switch, it just feels really calming, and you can just kind of lay back. Minimal interaction, you don't have to constantly be on your game. I could even use it without my grip. What? Oh, yeah, this is the Satisfy grip. I'm sure you're aware of the product name. Maybe not. I don't know. Uh, don't get me wrong. I could play games like this, and sometimes I have. But the Satisfy grip, and I'm not sponsored, so don't go to Spotify, Satisfy, and put in your ASMR friend. It's not going to work. But I will recommend it. It is hands down the best grip on the market, especially for the Switch. What's that? Oh, I did forget a game, didn't I? Oh, you're right. Okay, so another game that should be on that list is gonna sound silly, but it's awesome. It's called Smashy Road Wanted 2. And here's how quickly you can launch the game and start playing. And being on a mobile device like this, speed is king. And there you are, right away. And now you have the best part of GTA, in my opinion. Sure, the shootouts are fun, but I like being the getaway car. You start out, cops already wanted, and it escalates from one cop light until eventually the military come after you. But the car movement feels super slick. Again, you saw how fast we loaded in. And for the most fun part of Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion, being able to play that whenever, super quickly, it's an easy one for me to just pick up, play. And again, with the Switch Lite, small sessions, perfect. So, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, this next one, if I was doing a top 10 of my favorite Switch games, there's an argument for me to put it at number one. I played the hell out of this game. Lots of hours, hundreds of hours. Even though I beat through it, but I've come back and I still come back. The gameplay loop is that fun and that memorable for me. It's called Party Hard. And it's funny because it's a video game. I mean, with Paint the Town Red, you're just going around beating up everyone. It sounds awful. You are just an annoyed neighbor who goes out and goes to house parties or warehouses and kills everyone for having a good time. I know. But it's kind of a strategic way because you need to do it without getting caught. So if someone sees you, they're going to run off, they're going to call the cops. You can outrun the cops maybe once, maybe twice, but you're not going to be able to just keep getting away with it. You can't keep getting away with it. You can't keep getting away with it. But yeah, each board has about like 30 plus NPCs walking around, and you just infiltrate and kill them. I don't know how to describe it. Either this is sounding like really good or really bad. But being able to be strategic about how you do it, maybe the guest goes into the restroom, so you follow them into the restroom, and you just have a knife. You can get other characters that have like a baseball bat or something, but the main character, you get just a knife. So maybe you go in, you just quick, and go out the restroom, and then wait for someone to discover that body. You could try to hide the body if there's a spot to do that. But there's this tension too. Maybe you're down a hallway and it's just you and that other NPC. And do you have enough time and clearing time to kill them, get out the hall without someone seeing that you just did that? So yeah, Party Hard, look it up, because I know that I'm not doing a good explanation of it, and certainly without gameplay video, I don't even know what kind of visual you're thinking of. It's a top-down, kind of almost retro style games. I'm not a connoisseur of video games. I don't know, but yeah, Party Hard is so fun. And it was one of those where, my first playthrough it and getting to the higher levels and keep getting caught, and I just couldn't beat him. And I'm just thinking, no, like, this is as far as I go, because now there's too much going on, too many factors. I can't get away with killing these people without getting caught. It sounds awful. Don't take me out of context. But then you keep trying it, try a different approach, be a little more patient perhaps, seize on opportunities faster, and then you clear that level, and oh, it feels so good. And that's why the gameplay loop still holds up for me. Even stepping away after X amount of time from playing it and jumping in and clearing a room full of them feels so good. I just don't know how to describe it any better, but it's a lot of fun. The next game, and I actually made a video of this on my YouTube channel, and it was kind of the ones that held my channel together in the early stages after I did so many Cyberpunk videos. It's Islanders, which is just a very simplistic, similar to mini Motorways, kind of minimalist puzzle city builder game. And it's a perfect kind of relaxing game. Really good to play kind of maybe in between sessions, or again, just when you're off after a long day of something, to just sort of build up a city. And again, with the minimalism, you can fill in those blanks to your imagination, and it's just really fun building up. And you try to build up a city, you get X amount of parts, and you need to be able to score enough points to get new packs to open up, to put more buildings, so on and so forth. And eventually, if you get enough, you can move on to another island. And that's the loop, is you want to just build up your cities as big as you can until you have enough to move on to another island. And yeah, it's just fun that way. You know, again, with my Switch, what I like is being able to play those kind of smaller sessions. Or if it fancies me to, you know, plug this in and play for 40 minutes or however long a run ends. And again, it's one of those where I don't get upset at the end. It's okay, yep, this is as far as we go today with it. And you know, you do start to learn a little bit more of putting the buildings down and maybe having a better idea of how to grow it as you go. It'll make more sense to you. But yeah, Islanders, just really fun game. And that's what I love about the Switch Lite. Again, I mean, I own the regular Switch as well, but I found myself never docking it. That's why I play the Switch Lite. But the Switch really helped me find and appreciate these smaller indie games that, you know, I think you could certainly play this on your PlayStation. I have it on my wish list on my PlayStation, but it's kind of a perfect game to just play on the couch like this and just go at it at your own pace. And, you know, again, like smaller session, longer session. It's just a really relaxing game. Yeah. Okay, so my last one on the list, another one that kind of surprised me, and the hype held up to it, I believe. It's Balatro. I know it's probably recommended in like every type of these scenarios that I'm talking about, but the reason I think it works so well from my end is, you know, I was interested in, okay, I mean, I like roguelikes and not so big on cards, but again, with Star Wars Unlimited and Slay the Spire, it's like, okay, maybe I could fare a little better with cards now, and ended up giving it a shot. And actually, my first 2 hours of playing Balatro, I did not like. And I didn't buy this on sale or anything, so I felt, man, I really spent all this money and I don't like this game. I don't get it. I I don't get how I'm scoring all these points and all of a sudden I get to the boss and now I'm just getting destroyed. But, you know, step away from it, come back to it, and then once I started to understand what the jokers do for your runs, then it just started to click. Then it made a lot of more sense. You start to understand what you want to look out for or how you can use those joker cards to your run's ability. You know, like there's a joker card where it earns you a multiplier every time you score a card that isn't a face card, which obviously face cards are the most amount of points you can get. You know, they're 10 apiece, and certain combos it could grow more. But if you have that joker and now you've played 10 hands in a row without scoring a face card, and suddenly you have a +8 multiplier, +10, whatever the number is, a +10 multiplier, play another hand, and now you got +11, and you just want to avoid face cards. Strategies like that that just hooks you. And each round is so quick, even though you're not rushed, there's no timer, which again, plus, but you can pray that you can pray. You can play them pretty quickly, just at your own pace. And I think that lends to that relaxation. Play at your own pace and, you know, maybe plot out the way you want to play your cards. Should you discard? Or should you play these cards and hope to get a better, you know, pair of cards on your next draw? Stuff like that. But I will say the reason Balatro, I think also the testament to it, is that it is so good. I actually ended up buying it on my phone. I paid for it, full price. I think it was like $10 on my phone. I haven't bought a mobile game since like the Angry Birds era. And that was probably just because there was a Star Wars Angry Birds version. So it's been like over a decade or longer since I played a mobile game. That's the power of Balatro. And that's the power of Pine Sol, baby. But yeah, again, because it's so easy to play those quick sessions, but it's also easy to just get caught up into it and play a run. Maybe that's your 1 hour of play. That day is just doing that run. Yeah, those simple, kind of relaxing games. I think that's what keeps my Switch Lite alive. Even though I know I mentioned those action titles and a little bit of variety in there, but yeah, those are, I think, those are like the 10 games that are keeping my Nintendo Switch Lite alive. How about you?